Radio. You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
It's Oh Behave with Arden Moore, the show that teaches you how to have harmony in the household with your pets. Join Arden as she travels coast to coast to help millions better understand why cats and dogs do what they do. Get the latest scoop on famous faces, their perfectly pampered pets, and who's walking who in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails. Garner great pet tips and have a doggone fur-flying fun time. So get ready for the pause and applause as we unleash your Oh Behave host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. We've got the ultimate wingman on our show today. This multi-talented actor starred as a goofy pilot on the popular show Wings, and he pops up everywhere on TV and the movie screen. I mean, he's played JFK, he's played a comedic vampire hunter, a murderous husband, and now he dares to take on the most challenging of all acting roles, headlining a movie with a dog. The show's called Duke, and it's set to be unleashed April 28th on the Hallmark Movie Channel. And our special guest is the always engaging Steven Weber. Hey, welcome to the show, Steven.
Did you just say unleashed? Because, Arden, that was a very poor pun. But seriously.
No, say it ain't so.
Seriously. No, well, thank you very much. That's a great introduction.
Oh, thanks. So I just found out from my producer, you're not in some swank hotel right now or getting bonbons delivered to you. Where the heck are you?
I'm sitting in the parking lot outside a drugstore in Brentwood, Los Angeles, because even though I am a versatile, still handsome, wonderful actor, I've got to run errands.
Oh, your wife is making you do honeydews, huh?
Oh, honeydews. Well, my wife works like crazy. You know, she's supported my acting career by working incredibly hard and being very good at what she does. So while she's out bringing home the bacon, I run the errands, and then when she brings home the bacon, I fry it up.
Okay, so you bring home the bagels, she brings home the bacon, right?
That's right. We complement each other perfectly.
And we got to give a shout out to your wife and your two boys. So here's your opportunity. You've just been dying to say hi to them.
I love you, honey. And boys, get your feet off the wall and stop choking each other.
Well, we're going to learn a little bit more about how Steven Weber portrayed this homeless war vet. He bonds with a stray dog named Duke on the show, Duke. But we got to pay for this show, and we can't ask Steven to pick up any errands for us for now. So we're all going to just take a quick commercial break. I want everybody to sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a pause. 4 furry ones, actually. Sit and stay. Oh Behave will be right back.
Every pet is unique. Maybe they're gray in the muzzle, yet young at heart. Maybe they're growing out of the puppy stage and into their paws and ears. Or maybe they're just trying to maintain a more girlish figure. At PetSmart, we have the right food for your pet at a great value for you. PetSmart. Be better together.
Go to PetSmartDeal.com and save up to 30% on awesome gifts for the pets and pet people in your life. Toys, collars, leashes, PetSmart gift cards, treats, and more. Go to PetSmartDeal.com today. PetSmartDeal.com.
Welcome to GoDaddy.com's Internet Cloud. First, get your domain name from GoDaddy.com. Then, make your business and personal internet dreams come true.
Go to GoDaddy.com. Use promo code BEHAVE101. Get a .com domain name for just $7.49. BEHAVE102 for 10% off your order. BEHAVE103 for $5 off $30 or more on any items. Or BEHAVE104 for 20% off 1-year hosting plans at GoDaddy.com.
GoDaddy.com. Domains, websites, and everything in between.
Hi. Hi, this is Marcy Davis and my service dog Whistle, and we're your hosts of Working Like Dogs on Pet Life Radio. Working Like Dogs is the show where you can learn everything you ever wanted to know about working animals or working dogs. Whether you're a member of a working dog team or you've just seen a working dog or animal out at the mall or the grocery store and you're curious about how these amazing animals work with their human partners, then Working Like Dogs is the show for you. Join us for the inside scoop at Working Like Dogs on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Oh Behave is back with more tail-wagging ways to achieve harmony in the household with your pets. Now, back to your fetching host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. We are lucky to have our special guest. He is Steven Weber. You know, you are everywhere. And I just caught you double dating the characters Joy and Melanie on Hot in Cleveland, the Betty White show. You didn't want to date Hot Betty?
She's too loose for me. I like somebody who has some morality. You know, I need somebody who has some restraint. I tell you, that experience on that show was so fantastic. All those girls are brilliant, and such fun was had by everybody, and they're very professional. And of course, Betty White. I mean, one day I was on the set with Betty and Carl Reiner.
Wow.
So everybody was just kind of hushed while they told stories. It was really a wonderful, wonderful time.
Well, you have to be careful because I think she is the ultimate cougar by default, isn't she, at 90?
I mean, I don't know if cougar really captures what she is. Maybe saber-toothed tiger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's voracious.
Oh, she was on our show. She got me with a few zings with a smile.
But she's great. She's an amazing, it's almost terrible to have to say this, but she's in amazing shape. She's, up there. And you know what? There's no reason why this woman and many other women and men in that age who have it all together should not be, on television more, doing more movies. It's really, I think it's great that TV Land has that show on the air.
Oh, I'm glad to. And you did a great job. And we're not going to spoil it, but you did play, I guess, Joy's ex-husband, and there was some kind of a confusion in a hotel room, and you ended up with Melanie by Valerie Bertinelli.
Thanks for not spoiling it by telling me the entire plot.
But I didn't say what happened at the end. There's something that happens at the end. I'm not going to let the dog off the leash, as they say. This is a dog.
Okay. Out of the kennel. I've been playing terrible guys wearing suits for 10 years, and intermittently they still trot out the old kind of womanizing jerk character that I used to play a lot. So that was kind of what he was.
Okay, well, this is a perfect segue because you're not a jerk in Duke. You play a guy with a lot of soul. You play Sergeant Terry Pulaski. Give us a little bit of background on what the plot is for Duke.
Well, first of all, it's a Hallmark film, and this is not your average Hallmark movies. You know, their brand has been more of a, I guess, sweeter, more fun, lighter TV fare. This is that, but more. It goes deeper. It goes a little darker. And this is based on a true story. It's about a man who was a Iraq War veteran who had some injuries and had post-traumatic stress and basically could not handle life, civilian life, and ran away from home, from his family, from his children. And with him came their loyal dog, this dog named Duke. And they spent 10 years homeless together on the road. And Duke eventually gets ill. And Terry, obviously unable to deal with certain realities of life, kind of gives the dog up. He brings the dog to a veterinary clinic in the hopes that they will either put him down humanely or treat him, but he can't deal with it. And without giving the rest of the story away, it's really incredibly heartwarming and, again, a little darker than normal for the Hallmark company, who understands their audience, I think. This is the same audience that appreciates that sweeter, lighter stuff will also relate a lot to this story, I think.
Well, I went on the website. I want folks to go to the Hallmark Movie Channel.com. If you do the little /HMC/Duke, you're going to see the movie premiere. There's cute videos. There's insights into the cast. I really like your comment you wrote about Duke having a little bit of some quirks, I guess. Can you talk about Duke played by a border collie named Zeke?
I mean, I think I might have been, exaggerating and trying to, kind of anthropomorphize my co-star. He was actually incredibly smart and sweet But he's a dog and a film dog, and so his trainers were ever present. But I would say that there were a couple of moments where the trainers had no control over Duke, and luckily the cameras were rolling in a scene where I had to be in deep emotional stress. I guess I'm patting myself on the back. I was so good that Zeke was utterly convinced that I was going through real trauma and came over to me and started taking care of me, started nuzzling me and caring for me in a way that was perfect for the story, but also it made everybody stop and realize, the importance of having these pets in our lives, these animals, these beings. And I'm not exaggerating. It was very stark and emotional. And, of course, the producers were jumping up and down saying, did we get it? Did we get it? Yeah, we got it, because it was a crucial moment and crucial to the story in expressing how tight their relationship was. So, he was really, really on the money. Duke was, Zeke, actually, and his trainers were fantastic, very sweet and very loving and caring towards their buddy, their dog.
Yeah, you just fooled a border collie, the Einstein of all breeds, who could out-sniff you, out-see you, outrun you. You did an acting job on him.
Well, that's how good I am.
I think you should take a play bow. Sorry, that's a dog talk.
That's right. And it's so funny because after I shot that movie, my family and I went to Scotland, and we were walking in the back roads of this town in the fields, and sure enough, somebody had a border collie and was working with the border collie to herd sheep, like in the movie Babe.
Right.
And it was so fascinating to see how alert and smart and cool. I have to say, these dogs are cool. They're so smart that they have a kind of a sense of their self, and they kind of know that they are looked up to, especially by their human companions. And it was fascinating to see the dog at work, out of the show business environment. But yeah, they are very smart. Zeke was terribly smart, terribly affectionate, and professional in as much as an animal can be professional on a set. He wasn't a doggy than many diva? Actors I've worked with. Was not a doggy diva. Believe me, I've worked with some humans that are way, way worse. Believe me. Now,
we're not going to spoil a plot, I promise you, but you did say he did get ill. How did this cute, smart dog play the role of a very sick? I was crying hearing him crying.
No, it was horrible. But again, it's movie magic. It was his trainers had gotten him to go completely limp, to kind of crawl along the floor as though his legs were not working, and it was really fascinating to see, and to see the extent with which this beautiful animal could understand commands and act them out. Obviously he was rewarded after every good execution, but, it's just the credit goes to the trainers, the very smart, cool, loving trainers.
Do you know what his kibble price was? You guys get paid in dinero. What was something he really liked?
He would not talk about it with anybody. And again, it's protocol on the set. Actors don't discuss their salaries with each other because we don't want to get jealous. Just say that his coat was shinier than mine, okay? So I suspect that he was getting little boosts and extras that I was not able to get.
And he's got somebody picking up after him, too, on a leash. That's kind of nice.
I guess if you want to lower the tone, Arden, you can.
Yeah. Got to have a little potty mouth once in a while, yeah. But this show, though, what drew you to play the role of Sergeant Terry Polanski? You did it very well, and there is a lot of range. And, with your connection with your daughter and what happens 10 years later, and the veterinarian scene. I really loved the scene of the veterinary clinic. This lady was standing to her standards.
Yeah, you're right. What drew me to it was the depth of the role and the writing. It's not often that one gets to play a character that's so juicy in a way. And like I said, I've been playing for the last 10 years, mean SOBs in suits, guys with authority and smarts, which I don't possess. I possess neither in real life. So here was a departure from those roles. It was a little dirtier, a little down to earth, a lot down to earth. And also I felt really that it was a character that a lot of people can deal with. It not only exposed me to the world of animals and dogs, more so than I am normally, but more than that, it was about the returning veteran and PTSD. And it goes into some depth on that subject, how much of an issue and a problem that is, and also how important having a companion, a pet, is for these men and women who returned damaged. There's a reason why Duke and Terry were together. Duke sensed this wounded person that needed his help, and he knew that he could help. And that's the case in real life. So those were elements that drew me to this character. It was more than just an average acting job for me.
And you touched on a good point. I mean, I'm seeing more and more dogs being trained to be paired up with the military veterans who've been injured emotionally, physically, both. And the healing power of pets is just, we're not even scratching the surface of what they can do for us. We've had some military vet trainers on the air on the show, but I think I like that also. It's a very realistic portrayal. It isn't glossed over. Your character isn't Mr. Perfect.
Right.
So I think you're right. If I was you, which I'm not, I would have taken on that role too. I'd have to grow a foot, though, because you're a foot taller than me.
Well, again, movie magic. You could wear heels.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah. But again, it was incredibly rewarding. And I found out along the way, doing my research for my character, again, you open a lot of doors that you wouldn't normally open. And there's actually an organization called Pets for Vets, which is on the internet, which is worth looking at. And it discusses the efficacy, the positivity of veterans returning veterans, kind of pairing them with animals who can really help these people. Because you get unbridled love, unconditional love and loyalty. And that means a lot for people who've encountered tough times.
We're speaking with actor Steven Weber. He is starring in the Hallmark Movie Channel production called Duke. It's going to be airing on the Hallmark Movie Channel network on April 28th. For all you folks out there, it's going to be at 8 o'clock Eastern and Pacific and 7 Central. I'm really not sure what the time slot is for our listeners in Singapore, but we do get listeners from that country. Stephen, just want to throw that shout out there.
Okay, I'll ask around.
Okay, you ask around. We're going to talk more with Stephen and what he's up to and how he rose from being at one time, I guess you were an elevator operator at a health club, to the superstar that you are today, after we take this commercial break. So everybody, please sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a walk on the red carpet, of course. All Behave will be back in a flash right after these messages.
Petco, where the pets go. Petco, where the pets go.
Pet Life Radio has tail-wagging, fur-flying, fabulous deals for our listeners from Petco. Get $6 off your order of $60 or more and up to 40% off the entire Petco site. That's right. But that's not all. Because you're a Pet Life Radio listener, you'll also get free shipping on your order of $49 or more. $6 off, up to 40% off, and free shipping from Pet Life Radio and Petco. To get these awesome deals, go to PetcoDeals.com. That's PetcoDeals.com.
Petco, where the pets go.
I don't make any decisions about who to hire without going to Angie's List first.
You'll find reviews on home repair to healthcare, written by people just like you.
With Angie's List, I know who to call, and I know the results will be fantastic.
Angie's List, that you can trust.
Go to angieslist.com/best and get 25% off any subscription. That's angieslist.com/best. BEST.
I'm not much of a reader, but I do wish I were more well-read.
There are so many great books coming out. I wish I could find a way to keep up.
Audible.com makes it easy to stay well-informed and catch up on your reading simply by listening. Audiobooks from Audible turn downtime into uptime. You'll be more productive and become well-read.
Now I'm able to catch up on all the great books I've been wanting to read.
With Audible, I feel smarter.
Pet Life Radio listeners, try Audible.com now and get your first 30 days of Audible Listener Gold membership plan free. And get a free audiobook. Choose from over 100,000 titles. To get this great deal, go to audibledeals.com. That's audibledeals.com.
Hi everybody, I'm Megan Blake here with my sidekick Super Smiley, the giant mutt and spokes dog for throwaways. You're listening to Pet Life Radio, and I'd like to tell you about our brand new show, A Super Smiley Adventure. Our show explores adventures with animals. They can be traveling, out in the world trips, or inner journeys where our animals lead us to inspiration and self-discovery, or just plain fun adventures. Join us here on Pet Life Radio on A Super Smiley Adventure. Good boy.
Let's Talk Pets.
Let's Talk Pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, this is Betty White, and I'm inviting you to tune in to the O Behave Show with Arden Moore on Pet Life Radio.
We're back from the lot. Just checked the paper and we had a record showing at the box. The letterbox, that is. Now back to O Behave. Here's Arden.
Welcome back to the O Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. We have Stephen Weber in the house. Well, actually, he's in a car outside a drugstore getting ready to pick up some supplies for his family.
I just have to get some razor blades. I have to get some razor blades. I have to get some aspirin, man stuff.
Manly stuff. You have movie magic, we have podcast magic, so we're making this look like we're right here. But I noticed in News and Around, you are quite the voice-over in-demand guy. I mean, you have been in a lot of different films and animated films, and I love your character. There's one, I think it was called Charlie B. Barkin.
That's right, because there was a TV series based on a successful series of movies called All Dogs Go to Heaven. And so I was one of the dogs. Me and the late, great Dom DeLuise were paired together, sitting in a recording studio for about 3 years, and was really, really a lot of fun. And yes, I have worked with dogs, and I have been dogs.
There you go. Now, do you have any dogs?
That's the irony. I don't. As much as I love them, the fact that I'm out of town a lot and my wife works very hard and my two sons, who are 9 and 11, are in school, we've always felt that it would not be fair to have a pet, a dog, and have them be home all the time while we're away. We are nudging ever closer, however, because especially with the advent of having done Film Duke, basically my boys keep asking me, well, look, what's the holdup now? You've already worked with a dog. We want to have that opportunity too, and so we're getting very, very close to it. It's a matter of really we want to be there for the animal, for our new family member. We don't want to just take them for granted, which I think is a problem, and but we're getting very, very close.
I salute you for that mindset because, you can fall in love, but you're going to have that dog longer than a life on a TV sitcom, probably than the life of your cars. And your boys, you and your wife will be having that dog when they're off to college. So you're going to get one picked with a purpose, Yeah,
it's not an accessory, it's not a piece of luggage. And in a way, I don't want to stir people up, my boys have fish. Or we also have this frog, which I call the Miracle Frog, which was bought one Christmas at the Sharper Image stores. It's a frog that stays underwater, and you buy it in a box. It's amazing. It should not have lasted this long, but it has, miraculously. It's still kicking. And,
what's his name?
And so his name is Funny.
Okay.
We're not very big on original names. Funny.
That's all right. You got alliteration going.
Yeah, Funny the Frog. And so that's about the extent of our pet ownership. Before that, it was, we tried things out by having a Venus flytrap, and that was very successful. And then we moved on to simple animals like fish and frogs. If this works out, then we'll move on to higher orders.
Okay, well, that's a really nice game plan. Now, back in 1990, you did a little quote. Someone said, they asked why you acted. The quote attributed to you, I'm just making sure it's from you. I can't do anything else. I can't type or run a computer. I've been fired from jobs as a custodian, waiter, and elevator operator. Acting has always been my passion. True?
Yeah, I think it is true. Since then, I've acquired other talents. But, I like to write. I've been, but mostly in the performing arts, and my talents lay, or my newly developed talents. But, yeah, that's basically it. I was lucky enough to be able to work consistently and still am, and I'm very grateful for that.
I was just checking out the Huffington Post. You have a lot of things to say. You're a contributor. You describe yourself as Stephen Weber, actor/wise ass.
Yes, I do, because it gives me plausible deniability. Well, because I opine on a lot of subjects that I probably have little or no authority to talk about. And because I have a modicum of celebrity, I think it attracts the notice of some people. So in the last several years, I've been writing for the Huffington Post, mostly very political stuff. And I have to say that sometimes I wish I had not done that, because while I believe it's everybody's right to express themselves, if you're an actor, you want to have people like you. You want to accrue an audience. My political opinions will repel people. And I've gotten into scrapes where people have sworn me off. But I have done some writing, and I've enjoyed it, but it's more dabbling. I would rather do more theater and do more acting. It is what I really love to do and have been fortunate enough to make a living in. That's where I really belong.
Okay, well, you do that well. And, I did enjoy the sitcom Wings. I think your character was Brian, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
You and your brother played by Tim Daly.
Tim Daly.
Yeah, what a great actor. That was a great team up, I think. Don't you think?
I agree. And in many ways, while it ran for a long time, it was kind of underrated. It's being rediscovered now by a lot of people and by actually younger generations who see in this show it's something that's genuinely funny, but it's not crude at all. It stayed away from the more kind of sensationalistic topics that are now all over TV. And I'm no prude, but there's something to be said for a kind of restraint. It made the writing funnier. It made the acting funnier because we didn't go for any easy jokes, not the ones that I go for every day.
No.
They were a little, they were restrained, and in being so, they found different ways to make people laugh. It's still a very much beloved show, and I'm grateful to have done it.
You got a great supporting cast, and
oh God,
you guys fed off each other. Yeah,
Tom Church, and of course Tony, Amy Asbeck, Rebecca Schull, David Schramm. I mean, we had a great time, and again, it's being rediscovered, which I'm happy about.
All right, so what's next on your docket? You've done Duke. It's airing April 28th on the Hallmark Movie Channel. Where else can we see you next, Stephen?
Well, I've actually been pretty busy the last couple of months. I'm working on a pilot with Cuba Gooding Jr. for, I think, FBC called Guilty, which is a really great pilot. We don't know if it's going to be on the air yet. I was in the finale episode of this very successful show called Two Broke Girls. I've done a lot of guest starring in the last few months on shows, and I'm about to start another Hallmark film just in a couple of weeks called Tom, Dick, and Harriet, which is another departure for Hallmark. It's kind of a funny film about, a guy who's an ad executive who's middle-aged, who loses his job, and he decides to use the talents of a kind of a young con man. It's almost like a Cyrano de Bergerac thing, where the young con man gets the job. But what it is about ageism in the workplace. Again, another topic that is of concern to a lot of people. And Hallmark is, I think, very smartly giving its audience loads of credit because their audience actually probably can relate to this topic as well.
You're getting ready to start the filming on it?
Getting ready to start, yeah.
It's called Tom, Dick, and Harriet?
Yes, and Harriet.
Okay, good. All right, and when do you think we're going to be able to see that? Do you know when what's on their roster?
No idea.
Okay.
No idea. But lots of things are going on, and this is a typical pilot season. A lot of actors are out there, and I'm one of them. I'm a journeyman actor, and we all try to get the same job, and sometimes you get it, and sometimes you don't, but we're always busy. I'm busier than ever, really.
I saw you on Brother and Sister. You played the suit man. I know, I remember.
Yep, suit man. I look good in a suit. Every guy looks good in a suit.
And you got a nice smile, And sometimes that smile can be friendly, and sometimes I could be like, uh-oh. So you've mastered your smile. It can be welcoming or get away.
Arden, are you coming on to me?
Yeah, no. I love Family Man. No. I'm telling you, that to me, you can say all the words, but it's what your face does sometimes, I think, says a lot more. And I'm saying that as a compliment from a person who's never acted, who just appreciates people who can do their job.
Well, I appreciate that very much. Very nice of you. Thank you.
All right. So we're talking with Steven Weber. He is the star of the show, well, we should say co-star of the show Duke, which also has a border collie by the real name of Zeke. FYI, I have a cat named Zeke. He does not look anything like this border collie. And in the show, we also want to give a little shout out to some of your co-stars. You've got, let's go ahead with the main characters. So we want to do a shout out for Alice, who's played by Sarah Smythe, the veterinarian who plays Dr. Angela. She was great. What'd you think of Allison Hosak? How do you pronounce her name? Hosak?
I think so.
Okay, it's not like Horshack from
Welcome Back, Kotter. No, I think she would have gone out of her way to not pronounce it that way.
Okay, good. Just to check in. And just to verify, there was one and only dog, Zeke. Sometimes you get the Marlies and Me where they use a zillion different Labrador, but there was only one dog, right?
Well, actually, okay, just for the record, there were two dogs. But Zeke was used, I would say, 98% of the time. And you have to have, I guess, emergency dogs if you're going to do a show like this. And ideally, they would have had 5 or 3. But they only had 2. And as it happened, Zeke was so good and so ready and prepared, and that he was in it all the time.
All right. Well, I'm very glad that you could be a guest on our show. I don't want you to forget doing your errands. You're in Brentwood in a car outside a drugstore. This has been the most magical location we've ever had of any guest on our show.
Yeah, hurry. I'm about to get a ticket. Hurry.
Okay, hurry. So we just want to say, everybody, tune in April 28th on the Hallmark Movie Channel. Catch Steven Weber and Zeke playing Duke. This movie is called Duke. You're going to love it, and it's at 8 o'clock Eastern and Pacific and 7 Central. At this time, thank you very much, Stephen, for being so generous with your time. You hit a home run with this movie, and I look forward to when you're coming back on the show whenever, when you get a dog that you, your wife, and your 2 kids are going to love, adore, and you're going to all be a good family, but don't put any rush on it. You're smart in the way you're thinking on that.
Thank you so much. I had a lovely time speaking with you. Thank you very much.
All right. And I also want to do a shout out to Mark Winter. He makes the show happen each and every week. So until next time, this is your flea-free host, Arden Moore, delivering just 2 words to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there. Oh, behave.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's Oh Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do, and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. Oh Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand. This is the place for a special paparazzi treat. Only on PetLifeRadio.com.